Dear Starseed, something happened recently, and the way you moved through it was not ordinary. You were tested by pressure, by emotional weight, by something that had every reason to pull you under. And yet, here you are. I am Azuron, a representative of the High Council of Sirius, and I want you to hear this clearly. What you just demonstrated is not something that happens often, not because strength is rare, but because the kind of stillness you held under that pressure is something most souls take lifetimes to learn. By the end of this transmission, you will understand why your response surprised the higher realms, what it revealed about the depth of your stability, and how this moment has quietly strengthened your position in ways you may not yet be able to see. You felt it. Whatever it was, the pressure, the emotional impact, the weight of someone else's behavior crashing into your field, you did not pretend it wasn't there. You let yourself feel it. But something inside you held its shape. Like the deep water beneath a storm, the surface may have moved, but the current underneath stayed true. You processed the experience without becoming it. That is not a small thing. That is the mark of a soul who has done real inner work. The heaviness you may still be carrying is not evidence that something went wrong. It is evidence that something real moved through you, and you were grounded enough to let it pass without losing yourself in it. You did not find this message by accident. Something in you recognized this signal before your mind could explain why. And the fact that you are still here, still listening, still anchored in your own light after everything you just moved through, that tells me everything I need to know about where you are. Stay with me. What comes next will help you understand the full significance of what you just held, and I am grateful you are here with me now. There are moments when life presses on you so tightly, it feels like the walls have moved inward, like an invisible force is constricting your very being, shrinking your world, until breathing itself feels like a monumental effort. It's not just a metaphorical squeeze, it's a palpable sensation, a dense energy that can make your chest ache and your spirit feel confined, as if you are a seed buried under immense earth, struggling to find its way to light. And in those intense moments, most beings do not lose themselves in one dramatic, cataclysmic collapse, a singular, shattering event. No. The erosion of self is far more insidious, far more subtle. They lose themselves in 1,000 small, almost imperceptible reactions, each one a tiny fissure in their foundation. It might begin with a sharp word uttered in haste, a venomous dart launched at another, or, even more cruelly, at oneself, born of irritation rather than truth. It could be a quiet betrayal of their own inner knowing, a whisper of intuition, silenced by the clamor of external demands or the fear of standing alone. It manifests as a decision made from the churning waters of panic instead of the clear, steady voice of their deepest truth, a compromise of spirit for fleeting comfort or perceived safety. Slowly, subtly, a habit of bracing for impact settles in, a constant state of readiness for the next blow, until that very bracing becomes not just a posture, but a fundamental aspect of their personality, a rigid shield that prevents genuine connection and authentic expression. They become defined by their defenses rather than by their inherent light. But you, my dear soul, have been doing something truly rare, something courageous and profound in its simplicity. You have been feeling the full, undeniable weight of that pressure, the relentless constriction, and yet you have steadfastly refused to become it. You have not allowed the external forces to define your internal landscape. You have held a sacred boundary, an invisible shield around your core, preventing the chaos from seeping into your essence and corrupting your sacred waters. This act of refusal is not a denial of reality, but a powerful affirmation of your intrinsic nature. And let us be clear, this refusal hasn't meant perfection. It hasn't been a flawless, unwavering stance. There were undoubtedly days, perhaps many, when you wavered, when the cracks appeared, when the sheer magnitude of it all felt overwhelming. There were moments, I am certain, when you cried where no one could see you, tears blurring your vision, dissolving the carefully constructed facade. But even through those human, vulnerable moments, there was a resolute, unwavering part of you that kept choosing presence over performance, seeking to remain fully in the moment rather than putting on a show for the world or even for yourself. You chose integrity over impulse, letting your deepest values guide you rather than succumbing to the immediate tempting urge to lash out or retreat. And you consistently chose steadiness over despair, even when despair loomed large, a dark cloud threatening to consume you whole. This quiet, persistent choosing is the true testament to your strength. And I want you to understand with every fiber of your being what that actually means, what incredible power resides in that choice. It means your soul frequency, your unique vibrational signature, is not some abstract theoretical concept whispered in esoteric circles. It is profoundly real. It is a tangible force, a living current within you, and crucially, it holds under weight. When the world pressed down with all its might, when the very fabric of your reality threatened to unravel, your essential frequency did not falter, did not distort, did not break. It remained true, like a perfectly tuned instrument that, no matter the external cacophony, continues to emit its pure, clear note. This is the mark of a deeply anchored soul, one whose roots run far beneath the turbulent surface, because spiritual resilience is not the loud, boisterous kind that demands attention, the kind that struts with overt displays of strength and bravado. It doesn't always wear the cloak of unshakable confidence, nor does it shout its triumphs from the rooftops. Often, spiritual resilience looks precisely like someone who day after day, week after week, keeps showing up to their own inner truth, quietly, persistently, even while everything around them, every external force and internal doubt, tries relentlessly to bargain, threaten, or seduce them into abandoning it. It's the unwavering commitment to that inner knowing, that gentle voice, even when the world is screaming its counter-narrative, trying to convince you to trade your authenticity for approval, your peace for illusion, or your wisdom for fleeting comfort. It's the strength to say no to what does not resonate, even when that no brings temporary discomfort or misunderstanding. This, my friends, is precisely why you felt tired in a way that sleep simply doesn't fix. This isn't the exhaustion of physical labor or a busy mind. It's a soul weariness, a deep-seated fatigue that permeates your very being. When you hold your sacred center while the chaotic world pushes and pulls, when you maintain your energetic integrity amidst external dissonance, it can feel exactly like standing in deep, powerful water as the tide keeps changing directions, relentlessly shifting its force. Your muscles ache from the constant, subtle adjustments required just to stay upright, to maintain your footing against the relentless current. Your breath shortens from the perpetual need to stay alert, to anticipate the next surge, the next shift, never truly relaxing into the flow. Your nervous system is on high alert, listening, straining for the slightest whisper of the next wave, preparing for its impact. This sustained vigilance, this constant energetic effort to remain anchored, is incredibly draining, far more so than any physical exertion. It's the invisible labor of the soul, and yet, beneath that exhausting surface effort, deeper than the aching muscles and the shortened breath, something else, something profoundly transformative, has been happening. The waters within you have been clearing. This is not a rapid, instantaneous process like flicking a switch, nor is it a neat, orderly progression following a predictable timeline, but it is happening steadily, like a powerful river that, despite all obstacles, refuses to stop moving toward the vast open sea, even when ancient stones and shifting earth cut its current into smaller, more challenging paths. It twists, it turns, it narrows, it widens, but its ultimate direction remains fixed, its purpose unwavering. That, dear one, is you. You are that river. You are still moving, relentlessly and beautifully, toward what is true, toward your inherent nature, toward the boundless ocean of your spiritual destiny. Each challenge has only served to deepen your channel, clarify your flow. Many in the world do not understand this particular kind of endurance, this quiet tenacity. They only recognize strength when it is loud, when it announces itself with bold declarations, visible conquests, or overt displays of power. But your strength has been a quiet internal force, a gentle yet unyielding resolve. And quiet strength, precisely because it is born of authentic self-possession and inner congruence, is often the most advanced and profound form, because it cannot, absolutely cannot, be faked. It arises from an inner wellspring that external conditions cannot diminish or inflate. It is the unshakable truth of who you are. You did not win by forcing outcomes, by manipulating circumstances, or by bending others to your will. You understood that true power lies in allowing, not controlling. You did not heal by pretending it didn't hurt, by spiritual bypassing or denying the raw, vulnerable pain that inevitably accompanies profound transformation. You allowed yourself to feel the depths of it, to acknowledge the wounds, knowing that true healing begins with honest acceptance. Instead of running, instead of collapsing, you stayed. You witnessed yourself with compassion and radical honesty, holding space for every emotion, every doubt, every flicker of light and shadow within your own being. You kept your hands clean, maintaining your integrity, even when the temptation to strike back, to engage in retaliatory acts, or to sink to lower vibrations was overwhelmingly strong and seemed like the easiest, most satisfying path. That restraint wasn't a sign of weakness, it was an act of profound mastery. It was the mastery of self, the ultimate domain of spiritual sovereignty. And yes, this unwavering steadiness, this quiet strength, this profound integrity is noticed. It resonates. It is not noticed as a scorecard, a tally of your triumphs or failures that can be judged by some external standard. It is not perceived as judgment, a critical eye casting its verdict upon you. Rather, it is noticed as resonance. It is an energetic frequency that interacts with the world around you, subtly, powerfully. Your calm ripples outward, touching others in ways you may not even perceive. When you hold your true frequency during moments of intense pressure, you become a stable geometry in a chaotic field, an ordered structure radiating coherence amidst pandemonium. You become a lighthouse that doesn't have to expend a single ounce of energy trying to convince anyone it is a lighthouse. It simply exists. It simply stays lit, unwavering in its purpose, a beacon for those lost in the storm. Its truth is self-evident. The ancient builders by the majestic Nile, those who erected monuments to eternity, understood this profound principle. The external structure, the form, certainly matters, but the internal alignment, the precision of its energetic and spiritual architecture matters infinitely more. When the inner architecture is true, when your core alignment is perfectly calibrated, it transmits its truth without effort, without words, without seeking validation. It simply is, and its being transforms everything it touches. That profound resonance is why some people have been reacting strangely to you lately, why the interpersonal currents around you seem to have shifted. Some have instinctively leaned closer to you, drawn by an invisible magnetic force, as if your quiet calm gave them unspoken permission to finally breathe, to release the tension they've been unknowingly holding. They sense a sanctuary in your presence, a space of non-judgment and peace that their own weary souls crave. Others, conversely, have turned sharper, their edges more pronounced, their words more biting, as if your very steadiness, your unwavering light, exposed the turbulence, the unaddressed chaos, and the deep discomfort they were desperately trying to hide from themselves. Your calm holds up a mirror to their own unrest, and that reflection can be deeply unsettling for those not ready to see it. In either case, do not take either response too personally. They are not about you in the way your ego might try to interpret them. Remember this immutable truth: currents reveal what's already in the water. Your presence simply acts as a catalyst, stirring what needs to be seen, bringing to the surface what was previously submerged within others. Now, dare let this next truth land gently upon your spirit, like a soft rain after a long drought, because it may finally explain the inexplicable heaviness you've been carrying, a burden that felt too profound for everyday circumstances. You are not just enduring life in its mundane sense, navigating personal challenges and daily stresses. No, what you are truly doing is holding your sacred signal, maintaining your pure frequency in a world that is actively, sometimes aggressively, trying to scramble it, to distort it, to pull it out of alignment. You are a clear channel in a field of static. Pressure is, in fact, one of the oldest and most cunning methods used by dense environments. By lower vibrational frequencies and by the forces of unconsciousness to pull a luminous soul out of its own inherent truth. The intention is rarely to utterly destroy it. That is too crude a method for such a sophisticated world. Instead, the strategy is far more subtle and insidious: to exhaust it, to wear it down until its light dims, to keep it perpetually reactive, trapped in a cycle of response rather than conscious creation, preventing it from anchoring into its true power, to make it doubt its own divine timing, planting seeds of impatience and self-judgment, and perhaps most cruelly, to turn its profound sensitivity, which is meant to be a gift of empathy and intuitive wisdom, into something it resents, a perceived vulnerability that feels like a curse rather than a blessing. This is a subtle spiritual warfare, waged not with swords, but with energetic drain and mental deception. So when you consistently choose not to spiral into chaos, not to retaliate with the same lower energy that assails you, not to abandon yourself in the face of external demands or internal fear, you are not just surviving, you are actively breaking the pattern. You are disrupting an ancient, pervasive cycle of energetic manipulation, not just for yourself, but for the collective consciousness. You are carving a new path, and you may have felt the profound loneliness of that, the deep solitude that accompanies pioneering a new way of being. Because when you consciously stop playing the old games, when you withdraw your energy from the tired scripts and reactive patterns that define so much of humanity, you can feel like you're standing on a different shoreline than everyone else. It's still the same beach, the same world, the same physical reality, but the tide that governs your inner experience, the flow of your spiritual journey, is entirely different. You are moving to a different rhythm, navigating by a different compass, and this can create a profound sense of isolation, a feeling of being set apart, even when surrounded by others. But please, let this truth sink deep, that loneliness is not proof that you're doing it wrong. It is not an indicator of error or failure. On the contrary, that very loneliness is often the clearest, most undeniable proof that you're finally doing it differently, that you are courageously forging a new path, stepping into a higher vibration that many others have yet to reach. It is a sign of your evolution, a marker of your ascension. Some healing doesn't come through words. It comes through water. If something stirred within you just now, if you felt a deep recognition or a gentle pull, you may be ready to receive the Sirian water codes. This powerful guide carries sacred techniques channeled directly from the luminous waters of Sirius, offering profound clearing baths, revitalizing breathing practices, resonant sound activations, and powerful protection rituals designed specifically for starseeds, who have always felt an inexplicable deep calling by the ocean, sensing its ancient wisdom. The link to access this transformative guide is in the first pinned comment, but please note, it is only available for a limited time. Now let's bring this profound journey into something you can truly feel and understand, step by step, charting the sacred waters of your transformation. This way, you can recognize precisely where you are in this unfolding process, and finally stop fearing the immense weight of what's currently taking place within and around you. Lately, things may have felt strangely unreal, as if you're constantly walking through a thick, pervasive emotional fog. You can still manage to function, to articulate your thoughts, to handle your responsibilities with a certain level of competence. But inside, beneath the surface of your external actions, it's like trying to see clearly through deep, murky water. Everything is indistinct, hazy, and requires immense effort to perceive. That fog, this internal haziness, is not a sign of failure. It is, in fact, a crucial phase of transition. Old emotional sediment, accumulated memories, unacknowledged pains, and stagnant energies are being vigorously stirred up from the depths of your being. They are rising to the surface so they can finally be seen, consciously acknowledged, and ultimately released. Just as a pristine stream becomes cloudy when its bed is disturbed before it clears to reveal its sparkling depths, so too do your inner waters. You are not lost in this fog. You are in the sacred middle of a profound recalibration, a deep cleansing that will ultimately restore your clarity. Then, as the sediment begins to settle and the first hints of clarity emerge, comes a phase that is often easy to misinterpret precisely because of its quiet power, the subtle yet undeniable return of your original signal. It does not burst forth as a booming revelation, a dramatic lightning strike of insight. Instead, it arrives as a gentle, persistent, almost instinctive refusal, your inherent inability to betray yourself in the ways you once did. Suddenly, certain compromises that were once palatable begin to feel physically unbearable. A tangible discomfort in your chest, a knot in your stomach. Certain conversations that you once navigated with ease now taste stale, hollow, devoid of authentic energy, leaving a bitter aftertaste. You don't even have to consciously decide to change. It's as if your very frequency, your soul's intrinsic vibration, begins to choose for you, automatically repelling what is not aligned. This is your divine blueprint, your original energetic design, remembering and reasserting its pristine integrity. And as that powerful remembering strengthens within you, anchoring itself deeper into your being, you may notice a profound stillness that feels like nothing is moving at all. This is often where many souls panic, where the ego, accustomed to constant activity and external validation, starts to scream, "Why isn't anything happening? Why do I feel paused, stuck in this inexplicable inertia?" But this stillness, this apparent lack of movement, is not a sign of stalling or stagnation. On the contrary, it is a phase of deep anchoring, like a powerful, fast-flowing river widening into a calm, expansive pool, its surface serene, before it finds its next passage, its next energetic current. During this time, your energy body is diligently stabilizing and integrating all that it has already learned, all the shifts and insights it has accumulated, preparing itself to hold the next level of light, the next layer of spiritual responsibility. The deeper and more profound your soul's mission, the deeper and more extensive this period of anchoring will be. Trust the calm. After that essential period of anchoring, the current becomes unmistakable, its direction and force undeniable. Your very presence, even when you utter very little, begins to subtly yet powerfully affect your environment. People around you start responding differently, sensing an altered energy, a quiet authority that shifts the dynamic. Problems that once seemed insurmountable either resolve themselves faster, with surprising ease, or conversely, they reveal their true underlying nature and root causes with accelerated clarity, demanding a direct and honest confrontation. Synchronicities, Those magical signposts from the universe sharpen and multiply, appearing with such frequency and precision that they can no longer be dismissed as mere coincidence. You begin to feel an almost electrical sensitivity to what is truly authentic and what is merely performative, a deep knowing that instantly discerns truth from illusion. This heightened sensitivity can sometimes feel disorienting, a constant influx of information, but it is also an extraordinary gift. Your inner compass is not just gaining strength, it is becoming exquisitely precise. The tide has turned within your being, and you are now beginning to feel with intuitive certainty which direction it truly moves, guiding you home. Then comes what is often the most tender and delicate part of this entire process: releasing what was never truly yours to begin with. Under immense pressure, sensitive souls, precisely because of their heightened empathy and porous energetic fields, often unknowingly absorb and carry what rightfully belongs to others: their fears, their unexpressed anger, their unspoken expectations, the dense patterns of their family lineage, and even the pervasive collective anxiety that blankets the world. And for a while, perhaps even for lifetimes, it can paradoxically feel safer to carry these burdens than to set them down, because carrying them gives you the illusion of control, the false sense that if you manage everyone else's emotional weather, you can somehow prevent your own storm. But the profound truth is that you were never, ever meant to manage everyone's emotional weather patterns. You are not responsible for carrying the world's weight. The river, in its infinite wisdom, does not attempt to carry every single stone it meets along its path. It allows what is heavy, what is not meant for its flow, to sink to the bottom, and it gracefully keeps flowing, unburdened. This act of release, far from being selfish, is an act of profound self-restoration, a reclaiming of your sovereign energy. As you courageously engage in this process of release, timing emerges as your next crucial lesson, a master teacher. Some doors, no matter how much you wish them open, will simply not unlock the moment you want them to, remaining steadfastly closed until the divine moment. Some profound clarity, the very answers you desperately seek, will only arrive after you cease trying to force it, after you surrender your mental grip and allow the wisdom to unfold in its own organic rhythm. This can feel maddening to the impatient logical mind, which thrives on control and immediate gratification, but it is deeply, profoundly soothing to the soul, which understands the ancient cycles of ebb and flow, growth and rest. You are not behind schedule. You are not late to your own destiny. Your life is not a punishment for not getting it right or for making perceived mistakes. The tide, that powerful, relentless force, does not rush. It moves with an ancient, inherent wisdom, but it always arrives. And when it does, it reshapes the shoreline without violence, without force, only with the gentle, consistent, unwavering power of its presence. And finally, through all these cycles of clearing, remembering, anchoring, flowing, and releasing, you begin to live from a distinctly steadier, more grounded place within your being. This is not a state of perfection, devoid of human emotion or untouched by the vicissitudes of life. But it is a place where you are less hijacked by external events, less susceptible to being pulled into other people's emotional storms, no longer a leaf tossed by every passing gust of wind. You begin to choose your responses with conscious intention, rather than merely reacting instinctively from old wounds or societal conditioning. You start feeling and discerning your own unique energy before you speak, before you act, allowing it to guide your interactions. You begin to protect your precious frequency without needing to announce it, without building visible walls or making dramatic pronouncements. Your boundaries become energetic, subtle, yet impermeable. This is where your true, authentic work truly begins. not as a performance for an external audience, but as an embodied presence. You become a calm, clear current that others can feel and be influenced by, even when they don't consciously understand why, sensing the profound peace you radiate. Now let the deepest truth come through, the one your soul already knows on a cellular level, the wisdom that your survival strategies and conditioned fears may have tried desperately to override or silence. You were not tested. You were not subjected to these immense pressures because you were weak or flawed. On the contrary, you were pressed precisely because you carry something exquisitely precious, something inherently pure, a frequency of profound importance that must remain untainted and powerfully clear. Some frequencies, like rare metals, can only be refined and purified under the most intense pressure. The purpose is not to break them, not to diminish them, but rather to strip away all impurities, all dross, so they can become unmistakably, vibrantly, undeniably themselves, radiating their essential nature without obstruction. Like a magnificent pearl forming in the deepest, darkest, most pressurized places of the ocean, your unwavering steadiness, your quiet strength, your profound integrity has been shaped and polished in conditions that would have made many others hard, bitter, resentful, or recklessly abandoned to chaos. And you did not become those things. You chose a different path. Even in moments when you were consumed by righteous anger, when the heat of injustice burned through you, you consistently found your way back to truth, to a place of inner clarity and compassionate discernment. Even when you were utterly exhausted, drained to your very core, you consciously chose not to poison your own sacred waters with negativity, resentment, or bitterness, understanding that maintaining inner purity was paramount. Even when you felt profoundly unseen, unheard, or misunderstood by the world around you, you stubbornly, courageously refused to abandon your deep integrity just to gain fleeting acceptance or external understanding. Your inner compass remained fixed. That series of conscious, brave choices, made often in solitude and silent struggle, has been steadily building a profound sense of calm deep within you, a sanctuary of peace that will soon become your unwavering home, your permanent abode, your anchor in any storm. Because the next challenges you face, the next waves that approach your shore, are not arriving to punish you for past perceived transgressions or to heap more suffering upon you. They are arriving, rather, to reveal the incredible strength of what you have already anchored within your soul, to demonstrate the unshakable foundation you have built. They will try to pull you into frantic urgency, not to trap you, but so you can learn to remain spacious, to expand your energetic field beyond the immediate demand. They will undoubtedly try to provoke you into reactive behaviors, not to diminish you, but so you can learn to stay sovereign, to respond from a place of conscious choice rather than conditioned impulse. They will present you with profound uncertainty, not to disorient you, but so you can learn, perhaps more deeply than ever before, to trust the benevolent current that has already carried you with such grace and resilience through every seemingly impossible moment so far. You don't need to force clarity. You don't need to grasp at understanding or demand immediate answers from the universe. Your most important task now is to simply protect your inner water, your sacred energetic field, from contamination by external noise, fear, doubt, or others' projections. Maintain its purity, and clarity will naturally arise. When pressure invariably rises again, when the external world attempts to constrict you, return to this simple, profound alignment. Slow your breath, deeply and consciously, as if you are gently calming turbulent waves within your own being. Soften your jaw, releasing the unconscious tension you hold there, which often mirrors internal resistance. Drop your shoulders, allowing the weight of the world and your own burdens to simply fall away. And then, with absolute stillness and quiet resolve, Ask yourself one simple, potent question. What is true right now, beneath all the noise, beneath all the fear, beneath all the expectation? And then, and this is crucial, wait long enough, with an open heart and a receptive spirit, to truly hear the answer that arrives. The answer that emerges from a place of deep knowing, utterly devoid of panic or urgency. Tonight, if it feels right, if your soul resonates with these words, place your hand gently over your heart, connecting with your sacred core, and say quietly with profound conviction, I remember who I am. I trust the waters that carried me here, through every storm and every calm. I am ready to flow with grace and courage into what comes next. Before you go, leave one word in the comments, just one, that describes what you felt during this message. Then find someone else's word and respond with encouragement. This isn't just a comment section. It's a space where starseeds recognize each other, and that recognition carries more power than you know. If something in this message touched you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you'd like to keep receiving these transmissions, subscribe. The waters of Sirius will carry us to the next one. You're not just watching, you're remembering. This is your space. And I'm grateful you were here.